It's the first day of 2026. Everybody's looking forward to whatever they think they're looking forward to. And I'm going to tell you right now, when it comes to TPUSA and Erika Kirk and Candace Owens, here's what's going to happen, in no particular order. TPUSA is going to go away. It is going to settle up, break down, move along, get all that money, distribute it, say, have a nice day. We couldn't do it without Charlie. We tried. There was all this outside influence. There's also outside negativity. It ran its course. We're going to continue maybe in a different direction with one of their, I don't know how many spin-off subsidiaries. But it's over. It's done. When they killed Charlie, they killed TPUSA. When there were all of these young people finally becoming a part of something conservative, something American, something Republican, something Christian, something that was never on the horizon as being cool or nothing. Finally. And it's gone. So you ask yourself, cui bono, cui prodest? Who benefits from this? Well, the people who benefit would be the counter forces, or the forces contrary to Christianity, Americanism, conservatism, and the like. Wow. So does that mean the left? No, I'm not saying that. You can't point to who was responsible in terms of culpability by merely saying who benefits. No. But I will tell you this. It's going away. As far as the Robinson case, the trial, don't expect much. Don't be surprised if he's Epstein. Don't be surprised if something happens. He takes some plea. He goes away and who knows? He's in some permanent, drug-induced fog. Who knows? He isn't even talked about. Isn't that interesting? That's not the issue. The issue is going to be Erika Kirk, because Erika Kirk is not going away. Erika Kirk wants to be Erika. She wants TV shows and magazines. She wants to be Oprah. And you know who else she wants to be? She wants to be like Michelle Obama wanted to be. In essence, an Oprah. Not Oprah per se, but the star. Erika Kirk was never about the hard work of going and slogging it out and sitting and having to know a lot of facts and talk to kids about transgenderism and sex before marriage. That was Charlie. Please forgive me. And this has nothing to do with Erika Kirk's situation or condition or plight as a widow. She's a phony. And now that we got all of the holidays, 2026 is going to be the no BS, pledge. Stop it. Stop it. If you can't see what's happening, if you have been, if you don't see through her, there's something wrong about you. You're Mr. or Miss Gullible. I mean, my God. But let me explain to you something. What you are watching right now still is not normal. It's not a normal disagreement about politics or personalities or the direction of TPUSA. It's something that's even bigger. It is a credibility collapse. And it is a credibility collapse that is being exacerbated by the negligence of TPUSA and Erika Kirk, who doesn't have the wherewithal to realize, don't fight these people. But she believes she's something. She believes she is something bigger and better and badder than anything you are. She loves being what you think she is. Once reality hits, the facts stop mattering because the audience that we're talking about, this sizable audience, this devout audience, no longer trusts the narrator or anybody else for that matter. And in this particular story, the narrator is not only Candace Owens or Alex Jones or the internet, I guess. It is also Erika Kirk and the TPUSA leadership. And that leadership class keeps insisting everyone stop asking questions, while also asking everyone to accept a very emotional script at face value. This hyper-lacrimating Tammy Faye wannabe, it's done. She has exhausted it. There is nothing left. She is emotionally and theatrically spent. And let me frame this clinically, not cruelly. Public trust is built on three things, among others, inter alia, but three things: consistency, transparency, and proportionality. You could throw in, an authenticity in there as well, but you'll see. Consistency means your story stays stable on the basic points. It doesn't veer. It doesn't go away. It's like this. Erika's story, who knows the story? Who knows the TPUSO story? This Huachuca story too. Oh my God. How simple is this? They turned it into anyway. That's consistency. Transparency means you answer simple questions with simple answers, and you don't hide behind vague language and lies. You don't create problems by creating lies that weren't even forced. Proportionality means your behavior matches the situation. And when those three are missing, people don't say, I disagree with you. They say something is off. And Erika Kirk is not believed in by a lot of people because people think they are seeing repeated off signals across all three categories. Not only that, her affect, her demeanor, her look, her attitude, the eyes, the performance, the waves, the lame, the sparklers, as we say in the South, that dog don't hunt. And you know exactly what I'm saying. And this is all unnecessary. Why? Because nobody thought to reel her in or to sit down with her and say, listen, it's showtime. You were never supposed to be in this position. You were supposed to be the doting, loving wife, but now you are front and center. Can you carry this? And whoever said yes never knew her. In a couple of commentators or contributors to various, YouTube or internet or TikTok stands shows this, did a little bit of not even a deep dive, just a history on her. Oh my God. Oh my God. She makes Kathy Lee Gifford look like Jean Kirkpatrick. And no, I don't know what that means either, but I think you get the point. Now, let's start with consistency, although Erika. The public has been fed multiple versions of what matters and what doesn't. Dates get treated like they're sacred one day and irrelevant the next. And they're caught, all her TPUSA people are caught trying to create the narrative and failing. The best is when Mitch Snow's son, a strange son, provided the bases for what Candace was saying, and he's supposed to be the impeaching witness. People argue about the wrong date to debunk a different claim about a different date. That's how clarity works. Clarity is linear. It says here is the timeline, here is what is confirmed, here is what is known, and here is what is false, and here is why. When a team can't or will not do that, the audience assumes they're either disorganized or lying. Guess which one? Nobody's that disorganized. And both of them, by the way, are lethal. And then when you get to transparency with Erika Kirk, It's incredible. When someone asks a direct question and the answer is delayed or partial or filtered or through some third party or delivered through a veil of tears with that omnipresent, that little hanky look in the eyes, those laser-like stares, the leers, the glowers. My God. And the audience reads this all as avoidance. It doesn't matter whether that's fair. It's how audiences behave. It's how people behave. And if a normal person is falsely accused of being somewhere that they were not, the cleanest move, the most obvious move, is to provide original primary proof fast. Not screenshots of screenshots and vague statements. Not anger at the question. Not talk and banter about how unfair the internet is. Just simple proof. And a willingness to let neutral parties verify it. When the response instead becomes, stop asking questions. Who do you think you are? You're unhinged. You're smearing. You're ruining lives. You're helping the enemy. You're tainting juries. You're a conspiracy freak. You're a nut. Then the question doesn't go away. It multiplies. And they say to Erika, you're doing that with us? We're experts in this. See, that's not because everybody's brilliant. It's because everybody is human. And the human brain treats censorship behavior as a signal. And if your story is strong, you don't need to threaten people into silence. Or to start worrying about this, the jury? You want to taint the jury? What? That's my favorite. You let the story stand on its own. Now, proportionality. This one is the landmine. This one is the biggie. Because grief is personal and messy, and nobody should be graded like they're in a lab. People mourn differently. Some are numb, some talk too much, some laugh, some freeze, some don't know what to do, some perform, some dissociate. You can't diagnose anything or everything from a video, and it's reckless to pretend that you can, okay? But you can say something safer. You can say that public perception is heavily shaped by whether behavior looks natural to the average viewer, or staged, or performative, or curated. Viewers don't run clinical tests. They do get a pattern matching, whether they know what it's called or not. They compare what they see to a mental library of how shock and grief usually look. And when the performance looks polished or scheduled or rehearsed or exaggerated or formatted or branded or packed with, kind of an organizational messaging or something that she committed to memory like the official line, a lot of viewers interpret it as a PR product and not a spontaneous human moment. Translation. And that interpretation may be wrong, it may be unfair, it may be a normal coping style that reads strange on camera. But once the perception forms, it becomes sticky, and then stuck, and then concretized, and then permanent. And that is the core point. Erika Kirk is not being disbelieved only because of a single speech or a single clip. She's being disbelieved, I'm being kind in that, because a large group of rational people and viewers believes that they're seeing a cluster of credibility failures and then watching the organization respond to those failures with control tactics instead of clarity tactics. The truth. What's wrong with the truth? You shouldn't have to go through all this much to explain the truth. They control the problems. Control tactics are predictable, and they include, moral framing, kind of a loyalty test, a format, character attacks, and they also include phrases like, this is disrespectful to the widow, and real Christians don't ask this, and you're helping the enemy, you're attacking the family, you're destabilizing the moment. And that language is designed precisely to close the conversation without answering it. See, clarity tactics do the opposite. They treat the audience like adults. They say, here is what happened as best we know. Here is what we can prove. Here is what we cannot prove. Here is why some claims are false. Here is who is verifying what. Here is what we will release and when. And if not, here's why. And the reason why we can't release it is because perhaps of a reason that we'll explain to you that would make sense. I mean, this is boring, but it's also effective. Oh, is it effective? And it's effective and it's boring because it's clinical. And when an audience doesn't get clarity, tactics, then they fill in the gap with their own story. The gap then gets filled with suspicion and mythology. And in the worst cases, total fan fiction about intelligence agencies and PSYOPs and MI5 and MI6 and MOUSE and CIA and Mossad, always Mossad. And then racism and anti-Semitism. You know it. And it's ridiculous, yes, but it's also the predictable result of a vacuum, and people hate ambiguity. And they will invent certainty just to stop the discomfort, the unease, the unknown. And now add more accelerant. Think of like a fire. More accelerant incentives. In 2026, you are going to see more content creators make careers out of debunking Candace or exposing TPUSA or proving elaborate plots because outrage pays. If there was money in attacking Candace, people are going to attack Candace. If there's money in defending Erika, people will defend Erika. If there's money in turning every question into a tribal loyalty fight, people will do that too. None of this requires a secret memo. Incentives do the work. And that's why the focus on Erika matters. She sits at the emotional center of the story, and she is the symbol. And symbols carry load. And if the symbol is trusted, the movement can stabilize. But if the symbol is not trusted, the movement fractures because every decision becomes suspect. And once the audience, once you believe the central figure is not credible, the organization has only two choices. It can rebuild trust with transparency, which I do, or it can try to enforce unity with pressure, and that ain't going to work. And pressure might work short term, but long term, it breaks down. And that's why 2026 is going to be rough, if not impossible, for TPUSA. In this narrative ecosystem, I use that word ecosystem, I'm sorry, but I kind of like it. Not because of one video, but because the organization now has a structural problem that it struck a long time ago. And it's kind of stuck in this loop where it can't answer without admitting gaps, and it can't avoid answering without looking guilty. And that is a lose-lose loop. And here's what the disintegration usually looks like step by step. First you get internal leakage. People will start whispering. Side channels form. Former allies, maybe former employees and donors, whatever, become controlled opposition. And old friends suddenly become suspicious. And you see loyalty policing, and you see purges, soft and hard. And some people leave quietly, others leave loudly, and sell their departure as a brave act. Okay? Then you get message kind of disintegration and fragmentation. The official line changes, splinters up. Different spokespeople say different things. And the audience notices, and this creates more doubt and more infighting. And third, you get credibility triage, which is a good word. The organization stops trying to persuade the skeptical middle and focuses on keeping the base. And that feels smart. It is usually fatal because a movement can't grow if it only preaches to the already convinced, to the choir. And the next thing, you get reputational, what would you call it? Contagion, I guess. People who are not directly accused still get hit because they're close to the accused. They're within the firing zone. They they respond defensively. And then they get hit even harder. Eventually, the movement becomes a pile of personal feuds and alibi fights and endless explainers that nobody outside the bubble even cares about. And at that point, the story stops being about what happened and becomes instead about who is lying. And once the story becomes about who is lying, you've already lost the audience. You've lost the audience that wants facts, that wants the truth. So what is the clinical thesis here? Well, Erika Kirk is not believed by many because they think they are watching a credibility system fail, free fall in real time. And they think they see inconsistent timelines, slowing and, filtered proof and evidence that's being presented. A lot of emotionally heavy messaging that reads like stagecraft, poor at that, by the way, and an organization that responds to questions with pressure instead of clarity. You're going to see these folks let me tell you, these are young people, but these are amateurs. They've never been through this. They've been making money for so long. They, honest to God, thought that they were on a mission from God, that they were exceptional, that they didn't have to worry about this, that God would take care of them. They're TPUSA. You can't touch us. How dare you? We're Charlie. And whether that perception is fair or not is almost beside the point. Perception drives trust, and trust drives stability. And without it, a movement like this doesn't just take hits. It collapses. It evaporates. And if TPUSA wants to prevent that evaporation in 2026, which I don't think it will be able to, I'm just saying, we're only in day one of 2026. But anyway, but if it wants to, the fix is not, louder scolding and more finger pointing and not more name calling and not more people screaming, PSYOP, Mossad, or whatever, or MI6. The fix is boring, adult transparency. Confirming what can be confirmed, correcting what is wrong, quickly, separating facts from theories, and stop treating questions like betrayal. Invite them. Thank them. Do you ever see a Senate confirmation? Thank you, Senator, for your question. They just attacked it. And you're a dirtbag, and you're no good, and you hate, and you beat you. Thank you, Senator, for your question. I mean, you have to say it. Act like you love this. Stop outsourcing the public record to influencers. And put the timeline in one place and keep it there. Like I told you before, this Mitch Snow I always thought they're going to cream this guy until some jadrul picks up the phone or sends to another influencer here. Ask him this. I mean, how stupid are these people? Why? Because they've been making millions for so long. They never thought about it. It was just a money printing machine. They didn't have to worry about this. Charlie was there until the gravy train lost its wheel or wheels. Okay? The heart of the breakdown is not that people are mean or anti-Semitic or hateful or anti-Christian or not sensitive. It's that people don't believe that these folks can be trusted. When that happens, every new detail becomes a weapon. And even every, I should say, silence or piece of silence becomes a confession, at least to them. And that's how organizations like this disintegrate. This is old old news, I should say. Not with one explosion, but with 1,000 small little credibility losses that never get repaired. And that's what this is. And let me tell you something. TPUSA, it's over. It's done. And they had it. And we'll get to more and more evidence about who was responsible for Charlie, because we're not really there yet. We need to get into the discovery process. I know we've got a lot of good stuff from great crowdsourced civilians, but we're not ready yet. And that's one thing I will always tell you. I will pledge to you. If I ain't ready to tell you, or if the evidence isn't there, or if it's impossible to know, I will tell you. I won't just make things up, but I will tell you the truth. And let me also tell you something. I know, as a trial lawyer, as a prosecutor, that one of the things you always give is a witness instruction. You tell them, when you weigh the credibility of a witness, ask yourself, how did they act? How did they react? What was their demeanor? Did he act in a way that was consistent with the position that they claimed to be in themselves? That's what it's about. That's what it's about. And don't give me this nonsense about, well, you can't say something. Erika, excuse me, I don't know who Erika Kirk thrust herself into my world by being in my X and my news feeds and the like. I'm not involved in this. But she's basically clobbering me over the head, saying, you better believe me, or else there's something really wrong with you. Excuse me? Excuse me? Do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? I am America. I represent a bunch of people who come from a variety of backgrounds and jobs and positions and races and ages and genders and you name it. And there's one thing that we know. We know how to spell out bullshit. And this reeks. Reeks. It is fetid, feculent, odoriferous. It is, God. The funk of bovine egesta makes me tear. So anyway, aside from that, Happy New Year. 2026, remember, we've got a lot going on. We got the 250th coming up. We have the midterms. Oh, God. So much to talk about. But in the meantime, this is too good. Because we also, I'm going to leave you with this. We also want to give people who try to lie this to remember. You want them to say, hey, listen, before you try to pull the wool over the American people's eyes, remember what happened to Erika. Remember Erika? Oh, yeah, that's right. We want to teach these people a lesson. If you lie to us, and if Erika is, the jury's still out, I'm not giving it much hope, but anyway, not that she had anything to do with Charlie. As far as I know today, listen, anything could be possible, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about sheer credibility in terms of trying to move up to the position of TPUSA, stewarding the helm of TPUSA, but maintaining this weird affect. In any event, you've heard enough about that. So, let me thank you. Thank you for your great and your kind comments. Your kind and generous and beautiful comments. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I mean that. I mean it. And also, thank you for jumping on board and joining another cause, which I am 100% behind. My beloved wife, Lynn's Warriors. Go to Lynn's Warriors right here on YouTube. This is the year. Today is a celebration of human trafficking. There are so many events, so many people. The whole month of January, she corrected. The whole month of January is National Human Trafficking Awareness Month. There you go. Thank you. See? We're a team. This is our team. This is it. No producers, no cameramen, no sound guys, no digital. No, me and she, and now we. So follow her at Lynn's Warriors. We have a lot to get to. Who says that doing good isn't fun? It's great. All right, dear friends, have a great and glorious day. Thank you. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell so you're notified of live streams, new videos, and whatever you do, I always beg, beseech, importune, and entreat you to comment as you see fit.